Okay, today is March the 12th, 2018, and right now at 10:45 p.m. we have a temperature of 59 degrees here in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 81%. The dew point is 53 degrees, and the barometer is up at 30.05. And today we had a chemtrail spraying in the skies. Right now, we're looking at the water vapor loop here for the western U.S., and we can see the jet stream flow is still moving into California. And this low pressure system, and this is actually a dual low pressure system. We've got a 997 and a 993 low spiraling in a pinwheel pattern right here. We can see the right angle here in the infrared map, and we can see the result of what happens when the right angle imprint is imposed on that storm, that dual low pressure system. This is a satellite transmitter generated feature, and what happens is we see the frontal system separated from the low, and that's what's happening here. We can see that cutout right there. And so these weather controllers are working on that system, and meanwhile we have jet stream flow into California. And if we look at the Doppler map right here, we can see that the Central Valley, the San Joaquin Valley here, is getting some rain, which is good news. Down in LA we see some paltry amounts of rain in that area where we are. Didn't rain today. We had chemtrails in the skies, and as the day progressed we saw a lot of clouds developing. Currently, like I say, we have 81% for the relative humidity. That's creeping up. It's now 82%. We're going to keep an eye on that. We do have a rain forecast for tomorrow here in the Southern California area. So we'll have to see if that materializes. It looks like most of the state is getting rain. All right, so let's zoom out, and we'll take a look at the East Coast. Meantime, there's another storm developing here on the East Coast. We can see that right here. This has a right angle on it, but the right angle is not really doing much of a good job at separating this frontal system. This low is moving east, and we can see that imprint. Also on the surface and 500 and 300 millibar maps, there is a low pressure centered out here right near the Carolinas. Let's take a look at that right now. Here on the sea level pressure map for the East Coast, we see that right here is the center of that surface low, actually offshore of looks like Virginia and the Carolinas. If we look at the 500 millibar map, you can see that low centered right there. We have another low right up here as well, dropping down. And this is the 300 millibar map. You see that low. But the storm that is developing with the right angle is still out right over in this area. If we go back to that other map, the SSEC water vapor map, we can see the progression over many hours time right here. The system moves right towards where the low pressure is depicted on those pressure maps. So we'll have to see what happens. It looks like this storm is definitely being manipulated by a transmitter, a satellite transmitter. These straight edges are several hundred miles long. Take a better look at it here, zoom in a little bit. We can see the manipulation. This is a fast-moving system, moving eastbound, and the right angle that would normally separate this portion of the frontal system is not really working out too well. If we go back to the other map here on the west coast, we can see what's happening here as they manipulate this center right here. We see that frontal system splitting away, and we're left with we have actually partial clockwise rotation in this portion of the weather system. A low pressure system, the entire system should be spinning counterclockwise, of course, in the northern hemisphere. And so this indicates manipulation. We have the clockwise rotation. We have very odd features here, right angles, straight edges, and a cutout right in the middle of that weather system. And of course, right here we see high pressure is being installed. If we go back to that water vapor map, we can see what's happening right here. The satellite transmitter is maintaining separation between this much colder North Pacific weather up here. This is a storm, by the way up here. That's generating like 30-foot seas. We'll look at that map here later. But notice right here, this area of high pressure is actually going to force this jet stream down south. And so if this moves in, we'll definitely get some rain. It's actually showing up a little bit there on the map here in Southern California. We'll have to wait and see what happens. All right, so looking at the big map, there is a what looks to me like there's a disturbance down here south of the Hawaiian Islands. There's a low pressure system right here developing. We've got something right over here as well that is developing, and all that moisture is flowing east right towards California. And so this is quite interesting because we've got two low pressures offshore. Looking at the surface analysis map, once again, we can see those two lows. One is going to move, they're forecasting to move east. We've got the cold front here. We've got high pressure indicated. That's what we were just looking at here on the other map right here. We've got that installed high pressure, which is going to force this jet stream down to the south. And instead of all this moisture moving into Southern California, maybe the plan is to move this low in and get some much colder weather. I don't know what the plan is yet. We can see what's happening though. This is a clear transmitter generated separation to separate the warmer tropical flow out of the tropics here. Here's Hawaii. All this moisture is moving right up towards our area. And we can see some blast pattern evidence right out here. There are transmitters superheating these two areas, and we'll get a better look at that over here on the Hawaii map. This is the Central Pacific infrared loop. We can see the blast patterns here a little better here on the water vapor map. We can see a little bit better right here. This is being targeted. There's a pressure wave that moves out right there. And we can see the icicle pattern. This area is being hit, and the eastbound movement is revealing the blast pattern right there. So these areas are being targeted by microwave transmitters and or laser to break these systems down. We've got the Hawaiian Islands. There's a U.S. military on those islands, and so we don't see too much severe weather hitting these islands. Although right now, if we go back to the Doppler map and zoom out, I think we'll see plenty of rain out at the Hawaiian Islands. If I can get this map to work. Yeah. Look at the manipulation there. The Doppler radars out there, those WSR 88Ds. Pardon me. We see the pie-shaped cutouts on the south side of the Big Island. This is what I've been talking about. These ground transmitters, the WSR 88D ground microwave quote Doppler transmitters, work dual function. They not only serve to as severe weather detection radars, but they also operate as a microwave transmitter, and that's what's causing the pie-shaped cutouts. They evaporate the the precipitation right in this area where this cutout is. And so that's the side, that is the characteristics of these transmitters that the public is largely unaware of. We can see the cutouts up here. There's a transmitter up near the not Hilo, but further north. There's a little town up there. Can't remember the name of it. Anyhow, we can see the manipulation occurring there in Hawaii. So they are getting some rain, but it's being chopped up by the WSR 88Ds. Okay. Okay, we saw that map. Let's take a look. Saw that. Here's the swell report. That storm up in the North Pacific off of Canada is generating 26-foot swells, and right off the California coast we have this system with the right angle on it. We can see that right here, generating 18-foot swells. So in a day or two, these will move in, and the west-facing beaches will get some pretty good waves. All right, so it looks like they're going to allow one of these lows to move in. We'll have to see what happens, but there's a lot of manipulation going on here. The high pressure over here has been keeping this at bay. Offshore, we can see that area of high pressure right there. Looks like it's breaking down. Saw that. And here is the, yeah, we can't see much here in the visible light map. Two weather systems out here. They're being targeted. There. They're blowing a hole in that one right there. Anyone's over here. Okay. Pressure maps for the west coast look like right here we have the sea level pressure, low pressure right here, got high pressure down here, redirecting that jet stream to the south. The 500 millibar map, you can see some squiggly lines. And these isobars, that indicates manipulation. That means varying degrees of high and low pressure along these isobars. That's transmitter manipulation. That's forcing this jet stream to the south. We can see these two lows. We've got actually two lows in this area and a separate storm up here. So this is a gigantic trough showing there on the pressure map. The 500 millibar. Here's the 300 millibar. See the same thing. A lot of squiggly lines. High pressure right here. So that will force this storm to the north, as shown on the surface analysis map. Okay, well, that's the report. We're hoping we get some more rain. Our total, as of today, we had 15/16 of an inch on Saturday, and then we had a light drizzle on Sunday, which was unmeasurable. Just drizzled all day, or a portion of the day. But our rain total now is up at 6.68 inches, which is pretty good compared to last week. But we're still very, very low, well behind the average for the foothills, which is around 15 inches, something like that. We used to get 20 inches of rain all the time, 25, 30, 40 inches of rain. Those days are gone. Okay, that's it. We'll try to do another update tomorrow.